This video is in filming purposes only, so please don't take it seriously. This story is totally fictional. The rain had been falling over Seoul since morning, turning the streets outside the mansion into a blur of silver and darkness. You stood quietly near the enormous bedroom window, one hand resting over your stomach and the other holding the small white pregnancy test that had changed. Your entire life. Two lines. You stared at them again, your heart beating faster as the reality slowly sunk in. You were pregnant. Pregnant with your mafia husband's baby. A small smile appeared on your lips, but nervousness quickly replaced it. Your husband was feared by everyone outside those mentioned. Walls. He was powerful, dangerous, and ruthless. When someone threatened his family, but with you, he was completely different. With you, the feared mafia boss became nothing more than a loving husband. The sound of the front door opening made you freeze. He was home. Heavy footsteps echoed through the mansion before the bedroom door opened, and there he stood in his black suit, his tie slightly loosened and his expression tight. The moment his eyes found you, his cool expression softened. "Why are you standing by the window?" he asked as he walked toward you. "It's cold." You quickly turned away and whispered, "I'm fine." He stopped in front of you, studying your face carefully. "You have been crying." "I have not." His eyes narrowed slightly. "Don't lie to me." His voice wasn't angry, it was gentle and concerned. You looked down nervously, playing with your fingers before finally taking a shaky breath. "I have something to tell you." His expression immediately changed. "What happened?" You looked into his eyes and whispered, "I'm pregnant." For a few seconds he didn't move. The most feared man in the city The man who never showed fear, never hesitated, and never allowed anyone to see his emotions. Simply stared at you. Pregnant? He whispered. You nodded, tears slowly filling your eyes. His gaze dropped toward your stomach before returning to your face. You are carrying our baby. You nodded again, and without saying another word, he pulled you into his arms. You felt his hands trembling slightly. As he held you against his chest, are you happy? You whispered. He pulled away just enough to look into your eyes, and a breathless laugh escaped him. Happy? I'm terrified. You blinked in surprise, but he gently placed his hand over your stomach. Not because of the baby, he whispered. I'm terrified because. Now I have two people in this world I can lose. Your eyes filled with tears as he kissed your forehead. I promise you, nothing will happen to either of you. From that day onward, your husband changed completely. The man who once worked until 3 in the morning suddenly refused to leave the house. Without checking on you first, he hired the best doctor in the city, arranged regular checkups, changed the security around the mansion, and even started researching pregnancy late at night when he thought you were asleep. One evening, you woke up and found him sitting beside you, completely focused on his phone. What are you doing? You asked sleepily. He quickly locked the screen. Nothing. You narrowed your eyes. Are you secretly working? No. Then what were you reading? He sighed before reluctantly admitting pregnancy symptoms. You burst out laughing. He looked offended. What's funny? You. smiled. You, the terrifying mafia boss, is reading about morning sickness. He stared at you for a moment before a small smile appeared. I need to know everything. You reached for his hand and whispered, "You don't have to know everything." He intertwined his fingers with yours. "I do, because you are." Caring, my child, and because I love you. As the months passed, your stomach continued to grow, and his love for the baby grew with it. Every night he talked to your stomach, sometimes telling the baby about his day, and sometimes complaining about how stubborn you were. "Your mother doesn't listen to me," he whispered. One night, you immediately gasped. "I heard that." He smiled and looked at you. "See?" She interrupted me again. You laughed and gently pushed his shoulder, but suddenly you felt a tiny movement beneath your hand. You froze, and he immediately noticed your expression. "What?" he asked. Anxiously, the baby moved. His eyes widened. "Really?" You grabbed his hand and placed it over your stomach. A few seconds passed before the baby kicked again. His entire expression changed. The cooled mafia boss disappeared completely, replaced by a man who looked amazed and emotional. He slowly leaned down and kissed her stomach. "Hey, little one," he whispered, "it's your father." You smiled through your tears as he looked up at you. "I love you, boo." But his happiness was mixed with fear. His enemies eventually learned about the pregnancy, and from that moment, his protective side became even stronger. Security around the mansion doubled. Guards followed you everywhere, and he refused to let you leave without an escort. At first, you understood his fear, but after weeks of being treated as if you were made of glass, you finally became frustrated. "I can't dwell in this house anymore. You shouted one evening. He looked at you from across the room. I'm protecting you. You are controlling me. His jaw tightened. I can't take that risk. You shook your head. You can lock me away forever. He answered quietly. I can if it keeps you alive. His voice broke slightly, and the anger inside you disappeared. When you saw the fear in his eyes, he turned away and ran a hand through his hair. I have spent my entire life surrounded by violence. I know exactly what people like my enemies are capable of. I can survive losing money. I can survive losing power. But if anything happens to you or our baby, his voice faded. You slowly walked toward him and wrapped your arms around him. I'm scared too, you whispered, but I don't want to spend my pregnancy being afraid. He held you tightly and whispered, I'm sorry. You looked up at him. Promise me you will protect us without forgetting that I need to live too. He kissed your forehead. I promise. The day of the birth arrived, sooner than either of you expected. It was the most terrifying night of his life. He passed outside the hospital room while his man stood silently nearby, and every few minutes he asked the doctor the same questions. Is she okay? Yes, sir. And the baby? Everything is fine. Still, he couldn't relax. Then, finally, he heard a baby's cry from inside the room. He stopped walking completely, his heart pounding. When the doctor opened the door and said, Congratulations, you have a healthy baby, his eyes immediately filled with tears. Can I see my wife? He asked softly. When he entered the room, you were exhausted. But smiling, the tiny baby resting peacefully in your arms. He walked toward you slowly, almost as if he was afraid the moment would disappear. You looked up at him and smiled. Meet your baby. He sat beside you and stared at the little face before gently touching the baby's tiny hand. The baby wrapped its fingers around his, and he laughed softly as tears fell down his cheeks. I never thought I'd have something like this, he whispered. You smiled. You do now. He looked at you with pure love in his eyes. Thank you. For what? For giving me a family. He leaned forward and kissed your forehead. I used to think power was everything. Now I know what I was actually fighting for. Years later, the mansion that once felt cold and frightening was filled with laughter. Your husband was still feared by everyone outside. He was still powerful and dangerous to anyone who threatened his family. But inside his home. He was simply a husband and a father. One evening you watched from the doorway as he sat on the floor while your little child climbed onto his back, laughing. Appa faster. The child shouted. He sighed dramatically. I am a mafia boss, not a horse. The child laughed even louder and you couldn't stop. Yourself from laughing too. He looked toward you and smiled. You think this is funny? You nodded. Very. He stood up, picked up your child, and walked toward you before wrapping one arm around you and the other around your little one. For a moment, the three of you stood together beneath the warm lights of her home. The dangerous man everyone feared kissed your forehead while your child giggled in his arms. At that moment, you realized that you had not married the darkness. You had married the man who chose to protect your light, despite the dangerous world surrounding him. He had built a little world. where you and your child would always be safe, loved, and cherished. For the first time in his life, the Mafia King had found something more powerful than fear. He had found home. The end. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye.